The big mutt took it like a sleepwalker. "Now bring it to me, big boy," I said, and Coffee did, his chains jingling and rattling. He had to duck his head just to enter the cell. I looked up and down mostly to register his height as a fact and not an optical illusion. It was real, 6 feet, 8 inches. His weight was given as 280, but I think that was only an estimate. He had to have been 320, maybe as much as 350 pounds. Under the space for scars and identifying marks, one word had been blocked out in the laborious printing of Magnuson, the old trustee in registration, numerous. I looked up. Coffee had shuffled a bit to one side and I could see Harry standing across the corridor in front of Delacroix's cell. He was our only other prisoner in E Block when Coffee came in. Del was a slight, balding man with the worried face of an accountant who knows his embezzlement will soon be discovered. His tame mouse was sitting on his shoulder. Percy Wetmore was leaning in the doorway of the cell which had just become John Coffey's. He had taken his hickory baton out of the custom-made holster he carried it in, and was tapping it against one palm the way a man does when he has a toy he wants to use. And all at once I couldn't stand to have him there. Maybe it was the unseasonable heat. Maybe it was the urinary infection heating up my groin and making the itch of my flannel underwear all but unbearable. Maybe it was knowing that the state had sent me a black man next door to an idiot to execute, and Percy clearly wanted to hand-tool him a little first. Probably it was all those things. Whatever it was, I stopped caring about his political connections for a little while. "Percy?" I said. "They are moving house over in the infirmary. Bill Dodge is in charge of that detail." "I know he is," I said. "Go and help him." "That isn't my job," Percy said. "This big lagoon is my job." Lagoon was Percy's joke name for the big ones, a combination of lug and goon. He resented the big ones. He wasn't skinny, like Harry Terwilliger, but he was short. A banty rooster sort of guy, the kind that likes to pick fights, especially when the odds are all their way. And vain about his hair. Could hardly keep his hands off it. "Then your job is done," I said. "Get over to the infirmary." His lower lip pooched out. Bill Dodge and his men were moving boxes and stacks of sheets, even the beds. The whole infirmary was going to a new frame building over on the west side of the prison. Hot work, heavy lifting. Percy Wetmore wanted no part of either. They got all the men they need, he said. Then get over there and straw boss, I said, raising my voice. I saw Harry wince and paid no attention. If the governor ordered Warden Moores to fire me for ruffling the wrong set of feathers, who was Hal Moores going to put in my place? Percy? It was a joke. I really don't care what you do, Percy, as long as you get out of here for a while. For a moment I thought he was going to stick and there'd be real trouble, with coffee standing there the whole time like the world's biggest stopped clock. Then Percy rammed his billy back into its hand-tooled holster. Foolish damned vanatorious thing, and went stalking up the corridor. I don't remember which guard was sitting at the duty desk that day, one of the floaters, I guess, but Percy must not have liked the way he looked, because he growled. You wipe that smirk off your shite poke face or I'll wipe it off for you. As he went by. There was a rattle of keys, a momentary blast of hot sunlight from the exercise yard, and then Percy Wetmore was gone, at least for the time being. Delacroix's mouse ran back and forth from one of the little Frenchman's shoulders to the other, his filament whiskers twitching. Be still, Mr. Jingles, Delacroix said, and the mouse stopped on his left shoulder just as if he had understood. Just be so still and so quiet. In Delacroix's lilting Cajun accent, quiet came out sounding exotic and foreign, quat. You go lie down, Del, I said curtly. Take you a rest. This is none of your business, either. He did as I said. He had raped a young girl and killed her, and had then dropped her body behind the apartment house where she lived, doused it with coal oil, and then set it on fire, hoping in some muddled way to dispose of the evidence of his crime. The fire had spread to the building itself, had engulfed it, and 6 more people had died, 2 of them children. It was the only crime he had in him, and now he was just a mild-mannered man with a worried face, a bald pate, and long hair straggling over the back of his shirt collar. He would sit down with old Sparky in a little while, and old Sparky would make an end to him, but whatever it was that had done that awful thing was already gone, and now he lay on his bunk, letting his little companion run squeaking over his hands.